when the greediest, most delusional narcissist burns the whole criminal empire to the ground. Hi, I'm Vanessa Reiser, a licensed clinical social worker and therapist specializing in narcissistic abuse and cult abuse. Today, I'm connecting the dots between two infamous figures. Their egos were too big for the worlds they tried to rule. John Gotti and Donald Trump. John Gotti had it all. But like every malignant narcissist, he can never be satiated. He gets bored, he gets sloppy. He craves the spotlight. His arrogance draws heat from every law enforcement agency in the country. And in the end, his own overreach, combined with testimony that cracked the code of silence, activated RICO, and brought down the entire American mafia. The boss didn't just fail. He took the whole rotten structure with him. Now, look at Donald Trump. He had the dream life men fantasize about. Mar-a-Lago, private jets, access to money, power, and yes, underage girls. He could have coasted forever in his golden cage. But narcissists are never satisfied. Howard Stern talks about this on his show, how Trump should have just hung out in Mar-a-Lago and been happy. But Trump's ego is a black hole. It consumes everything and still hungers for more. Boredom sets in, delusion takes the wheel. He convinces himself he's destined for world dominance. He pushed too far, took too many risks, surrounded himself with the very predators who run the real game. And now the Epstein files are playing out in public. Names, the entire oligarchical system. What we are watching is the modern day equivalent of Gotti's downfall, except the stakes are global. This is textbook narcissistic abuse on a civilization scale. In my practice, I see this every day. The abuser starts with charm and access, love bombs, gaslights, surrounds himself with flying monkeys. The cult forms. Followers will deny any wrongdoing by their deity and destroy anyone who tries to harm their leader. They protect their abuser because their identities are fused with his. They would rather burn reality to the ground than admit they were conned. But here's the pattern narcissists and cult leaders practice. Their grandiosity makes them sloppy. They escalate, they overreach. They believe they're untouchable. And that's when the house of cards collapses. The same psychological mechanism that protected Gotti, omerta, loyalty through fear and brainwashing, has protected this global elite trafficking network. People in power, media, institutions, they all become enablers. They minimized, they smeared victims, they look the other way, because as long as the abuser holds power, the cult stays intact. This is exactly why the midterm elections are so important. We need to disempower Trump. We need to strip him of the power that protects him. When the leader loses his throne, the flying monkeys scatter. The spell breaks. The full extent of the crimes will come to light. Victims will finally get heard. The RICO of the 21st century, the organized crime, this syndicate of elite human traffickers can finally be dismantled. I'm angry. I'm furious that this has gone on for so long and so many victims have suffered in silence. Childhoods were stolen. Survivors were gaslit. Good people were turned into cult defenders. And as a therapist who holds the hands of so many victims of narcissistic abuse, I see the same wounds writ large in our society today. But I'm also hopeful, intelligently hopeful, fiercely hopeful, because when these empires fall, real healing begins. Survivors step into their power. Societies face their collective trauma. We break the cycle of abuse that has gone on for far too long. The parallels are undeniable. Gotti's narcissism destroyed the mob. Trump's narcissism is about to destroy something even bigger. The real question is, will we be able to get this result? Will we be able to get real justice? Will we vote to disempower the abuser? The choice is ours. The world is watching. Stay awake, stay brave. The reckoning is here. And always remember, healing is a radical rebellion, and your peace is the revolution.